So the first of our May pot kits is the early summer planter kit. This is the biggest pot kit that we've ever done. It comes with this huge 40cm diameter Bergs Potter terracotta pot. It's an outdoor planter, so it's perfect if you've got a really lovely sort of dining space that you want to style in the sort of early summer, moving into the summer. It's perfect for that. Really great for sort of a central living centerpiece or part of a tablescape. So this is the pot. It's massive. It weighs a ton. It's such great quality, handmade in Italy. Yeah, it's a really beautiful piece. I'm so chuffed with it. And then, as always, you'll have your gravel, your compost, your moss, and then for this kit you have 8 different plants to go in. So it really is a beautiful, luxurious kit, and I'm really excited about it. So we have in this kit white lavender, although it's not bloomed yet, so it's still looking actually really still beautiful, just with its sort of green fronds. So you've got white lavender, 2 of those. You have your angel vine, which is sort of a viney kind of, almost like a fern type plant. You have your bacopa, which is one of my favourites for this time of year. It's such beautiful kind of white, delicate plant florals with a sort of delicate lemon yellow centre, and it's a trailing plant as well. So once you've planted it up and you've had it for a few months, it will just sort of trail over your terracotta pot and just look stunning. And then we also have 2 geranium plants as well, white geraniums, again with their sort of really recognisable sort of leaves that sort of cup the rainwater. They're one of my favourites as well, and they have a lovely sort of herbally smell that I really like. So those are your plants. Yeah, and so you'll get all the bits that you need to pot up this early summer kit. So in your gravel bag, you will have a piece of crock. So all it is a broken piece of terracotta that you use to cover up the drainage hole at the bottom of the pot. So this doesn't come with a saucer, it's an outdoor pot. There's no reason, you know, in autumn why you can't sort of clean it up and bring it in and fill it with some dried flowers or something like that. But it doesn't have a saucer, so it is for a garden table. Okay, so the crock's gone in, and then you can start adding in your gravel to the base of the pot. Just use all the gravel that's in your kit. Okay, and then we're just going to do a sort of light layer of compost on the bottom. Now you'll find in your kit that you have a lot of compost. It needs lots of compost. So it's a real kind of, in my mind, sort of quite a treat kit in that it will be something you'll plant up for, you know, it will take you a while. It's not sort of a quick kit up. But yeah, I really hope you enjoy it. So a decent amount of compost along the bottom. Okay, so that goes on top of your gravel, and the gravel is there obviously for drainage. Okay, and then you can start planting up. So I'm going to put in the plants first and work out where they go, and then I'll show you how to add in your compost. So I would go for 2 lavenders sort of either side of each other, like this. Then I will pop the geraniums in next to them, again sort of across from each other, I suppose. And then the bacopas. And then the angel vine. I've actually accidentally missed one of the geraniums off. Anyway, so you actually get 3 geraniums, and then one of the geraniums goes in the middle. Okay, so that's it all sort of planted up in terms of where you might like to put your plant. So that's how I would plant it. That's how I've done it on the website. Obviously, you can cluster it, so you can put all the Bacopas together and then all the geraniums together. It's completely up to you. I really, really hope that you have some fun with this and enjoy potting it up and sort of deciding where you want to put everything. So I like to add the compost now with the pot still in. But what I will do is actually take the plants out of their plastic pots, but leave the plastic pots in the pot. So I will show you what I mean. So taking out your plants and then putting the plastic pot back in and then placing your plant to the side. It will be absolutely fine. Oh, that one came out easily. That needs a drink. Here we go. So leaving your plastic pots sounds bizarre in the terracotta pot. I won't do that with the angel vines. I will actually take those out and put them to the side in their plastic pots. Here we go, put those there. And it does sound like a strange way of doing it, but it will make sense, hopefully. So you'll be left with, oh, actually, before I go on to that, with your geraniums, you might find that the leaves underneath start to go a little bit yellow. That's completely normal. It is purely because they are quite leaf heavy. So the leaves at the bottom underneath don't get as much sunlight, so they go yellow. So for example, this one here is slightly yellow. You just take them off. That's all you need to do. Just remove them so that they're not using up the energy from the plant. But it is just a case of less sunlight. Okay. Worth noting now, all of my plants needed a drink. I haven't watered them, I should have done. So when your plants arrive, give them a good drink. It will be much easier to plant up as well. Okay, so now you've got your plastic pots like this. And the idea of this method is now to fill in all of the gaps around the plastic pots with compost. It then creates a sort of plant-shaped hole for you so simply just to put the plant in. I'm hoping it works. It's an easy technique. So I'm going to use my hands. So just quite simply in all of the gaps around the plant pots. So you'll notice that some of the soil does go in the plant pots, but don't worry too much. Just add in your compost. Gently pushing it down to remove any air pockets. Now I'm doing this quite quickly and haphazardly, always make a mess anyway, but I'm doing it quickly because this is one of those kits that it's not going to be done in a couple of minutes. So as not to bore you, I will try and do it quickly. And then you can just take your time, enjoy it, enjoy the process. Gosh, I'm making a mess. Every time I think, gosh, shall I do it in the garden today? And then I usually, like today, it's drizzly and not very nice. So instead, I'm making a mess in my kitchen. Okay. So we're getting there. And then you'll see in the middle where you've got your, well, I've got a geranium plant pot. So I'm just going to add compost to those gaps as well. If a lot of soil goes in the plastic plant pot, you can always just sort of take it out with your hands. I'm really hoping this is going to work, otherwise it's going to be really embarrassing, isn't it? Let's be honest. Okay. So pushing that soil down, nice and compact. And then in a second I'll show you how it looks. Obviously you can do it the normal way. You know, take your plants out of their pots, put the plants in where you want them, and then just sort of surround them with the compost. But I personally find this a way that means that the compost is compacted down, you don't have lots and lots of gaps, which, you know, the plants don't like quite as much as having, you know, compost all around them. Right, I think I'm nearly there. Okay, I'm going to try it now. Right, let's just show you how it looks first. So I'm just kind of scraping out any of the compost that's gone into the plastic pots. You know, I'm not being particularly perfectionist about it. Just getting as much out as I can. Okay, I think that'll do. So this is how it should look in theory. So you've got all of the compost around the plastic plant pots. And now, gently, one at a time, so remove one and then plant it. So this was, I think, lavender. Okay, I'm gonna do the lavenders first. So removing the plant pot, and you will have, it's worked, a beautiful shaped hole that fits perfectly with your plant. So then that just goes in. See, so easy. And then gently around the edge of the plant, just push it down. Okay, so that's the first lavender in. I'm now going to go in with the next lavender the other side. So gently taking out the plant pot. Where are you? There you are. And then in that goes. Okay, and then next, let's go with the Bacopa. And then the geranium. They just slot perfectly in. It's admittedly very, very satisfying. Okay, and then another one, geranium at the back and the side there. And then we've got another geranium to go in the middle. And then the last of the Bacopas to go at the back. Okay, so now I'm going to add in the angel vine just into two of the gaps. So I'm going to go one at the back here, just sort of create a hole and then pat the compost down around it. If I turn it around. And then again, I'm just sort of doing that with the compost just to create, excuse me, a similar shaped hole. And that goes in as well. Adding compost in around the side and just gently pushing it down. Okay, so that is your early summer planter planted up and ready for the moss to go in. So I don't know which way is the front. It looks the same each side, to be honest. So I will just leave it like that so you can see it. So you have 3 different types of moss, as you always do. So you have your flat moss, which is this sort of type of moss, your bun moss, which is the more sort of chunkier version, and then your sphagnum moss, which is the two-tone, loose and sort of more organic looking moss. So the idea is just to place your moss where you can see compost. So you're just filling in the gaps where the compost is. It just finishes the kit off really beautifully. It smells so amazing. The white lavender, we did these as kits last year on their own. I think we probably might do some kits with them in the summer. But it smells like lavender mixed with mint. I don't know why it's different to purple lavender, but it definitely smells different, and it's one of my favourite scents for plants. And then you've got that mixed with the sort of geranium, which, as I said, is a sort of like a savoury kind of herbally scent to it. It's not sweet. So it's a beautifully scented kit. Okay, and then that's it. If you have space in the middle around your central geranium, you can pop some moss in there. I don't have a lot of space there, so I'm going to leave it. And let's check the button again. Yes, oh, it's a bit of a gap there. So in terms of care for this kit, obviously it's for outside. You can rely slightly on rainwater to feed it, but lavender is quite thirsty but doesn't like to sit in water, and it's actually the same with geranium, so and bacopas actually, they like drainage too. Excuse me. So water it regularly if it's warm. So if we've not had any rain, fingers crossed, give it a water every sort of 2-3 days if it's quite warm outside. If it's looking tired and sort of thirsty, then it probably is, so give it a drink. Keep an eye on the compost, see how that feels. Keep it damp, but not waterlogged or soaking. The drainage hole will help with that though, because any excess water will just drain away. So that's the good thing about that. Keep it in a sunny spot in your garden. It doesn't need to be, you know, in a hot south-facing garden. It can be just somewhere where it's getting sort of a decent amount of sunlight every day. And that's about it. Deadheading actually is really important. So with the bacopas especially, you'll find that once the flowers go over, they go brown, you just simply pinch them off. For example, there's a little bit of one here, and I'm just picking the little, the floral off, and that's it. That then encourages the energy of the plant to go into new buds, so you'll get more floral from it. So deadheading is really important if you want it to look really healthy and vibrant, and for more buds and blooms to fall. With the geranium, when those florals start to go over, you need to deadhead it in a slightly different way. You need to actually take the whole stem off. So I don't know if you can see, so say for example, if this had gone over, you take the stem off where, you snap it off where it meets the main stem. So you just simply snap it off, get rid of it, and then that means that more buds will bloom to replace it. The white lavender is the same as the geranium. You take it down the whole stem to where you'll see 2 new sets of leaves or blooms. So you just snip it off there when the heads go over. The angel vine you can leave. It's a wiry trailing plant. It doesn't need looking after. That's part of its charm, is that it, you know, it will grow and trail and kind of drape over your pot. So that's a pretty simple thing to look after. You don't need to worry about that. But yes, deadheading is key, and then you will have this planter for such a decent amount of time. Also worth noting that the lavender and the geranium can be cut back, and they will grow again next year. So there you have it. That is your early summer planter kit.